Hello and welcome to the Ebbenflow podcast, episode 17. My name is Ben, and today's episode is about Philadelphia. I've lived in Philly or around Philly for my whole life, except for the 4 years that I lived in Scranton to go to college. But, yep, spent most of my life here in Philly, and this is quite an interesting timing for the episode as well. I am moving out of Philly this weekend, starting tomorrow and Sunday. My parents are coming down tomorrow morning, bringing their truck, and gonna load up their truck with as much stuff as I can tonight. I have done basically zero moving out prep. The only thing I've done was taken the legs off of this couch here, and that's it. I'm gonna start packing other stuff right after I finish this podcast episode, but I wanted to do one more podcast in this apartment. I know, I think I said in the last episode that was the last episode in Philly. This is the last episode of Philly. I'm probably going to be disassembling this setup as soon as I finish recording this episode. So yeah, Philly. I first of all do things that I don't participate in. Just to mention, sports. I don't really follow the Sixers or the Flyers or the Phillies or the Eagles that much, unless they're doing really good in whatever sport is happening. Like I was definitely interested and invested when the Phillies were doing their playoff runs in the last couple of years. I was invested in the Eagles on their Super Bowl runs, but like definitely regular season stuff, not interested at all. A lot of people in the city are interested in sports. There's like it's like a characteristic of the city. Like I'll die for the fighting Phils. I bleed green. I bleed green for the Eagles. And I don't. I bleed red. Last time I checked, or I just bleed. Uh, But if there's a cut on my body, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that people can be so into sports, and no judgment if you're into that stuff. If just my opinion that there's other things to do in life that don't involve like you getting stressed out because a bunch of dudes in tights aren't performing up to your standards. And yeah, that's kind of my view on the sport. I mean, it's a cool atmosphere as well, going to Citizens Bank Park and seeing the sunset there. It can be pretty beautiful, and just the vibe of a baseball game is pretty cool. I've only been to one football game, one Eagles game, and it was fun, but it wasn't like as vibey as like a Phillies game as when you're in the summer and the sun setting. It's pretty cool. Um, so I'll talk about the EDM scene next. So I was not involved in the EDM scene until 2021 when I went to my first club experience at Noto, Noto. Noto is a club on like 12th and Vine, I believe, and For my first, it was good for my first club experience because I left the club that night just kind of like knowing like this was my shit. This is like something that I would like to continue doing for the foreseeable future, and it's something that I still do to this date. Um, so I went to Noto a few times, probably as much as I can count on my two hands. So probably less than 10. But the one time that I always got like weird vibes from Noto, especially after going to the Av live, which I'll talk about soon, but um the one night at Noto, and I've been getting weird vibes from this place for a while, but the one night I am seeing Dylan Francis at Noto, and there's like kind of three things that happen um where they all just kind of built up, and then by the time the third thing happened, like I just left early because I was like, damn, like this ain't it, bruh. So the first one was there was like a group. Okay, first of all, the layout of Noto sucks. In that there's a table separating the DJ booth and the dance floor. There's like a VIP section, so you can't even get that close to the DJ. And so I'm like at the front of the dance floor, and so right in front of me is the VIP booth, and there's this group of like Indian guys there. They're all just chilling, hanging out, and I don't know if this is when Dylan Francis came on or before he did, but the one Indian guy, the one guy just throws up, just yaks into the ice bucket that had all of it was I think it was an empty ice bucket, luckily. Because I was gonna say that had all of their drinks, but I think I remember it being empty. There was just a bunch of ice in it. So you had a bucket full of ice and vomit. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I just witnessed this guy throw up into an ice bucket. The second thing was, there was this like trans person, like being very aggressive in the crowd. Couldn't tell if it was a guy or a girl, but they were literally aggressively moving through the crowd, throwing elbows at people and going back and forth from the back to the front of the dance floor, then to the back again, then to the front. They did that a few times, and I got like shoved like a good like a couple of times. I'm like, what is this person doing, man? So that was the second thing. The third thing that sent me over was there was this couple that were like very, very in a different state of mind. And they were just like swaying like back and forth in all different directions. And I got bumped in by them a few times as well. They were just being like very sloppy on the dance floor. And all of that just added up for me to be like, I'm out. I usually stay for the whole show, but I left, and no, I only came back once to Noto to do photography for my friend EJ. But yeah, that's Noto. Let's hop over to another venue called the Av Live. The Av Live is my favorite club ever, because it's the one I go to the most, and they book some amazing acts there, some great DJs, and it's just great, just like, you know, the classic EDM community I see there. I've made a couple of friends there. Shout out Celeste, the Energizer Bunny, and Tom. I don't know his last name, but Tom Reynolds, I believe. Yeah. those are the only two people that are of worth noting, I believe, that I've made friends with at the Av. Um, Other than that, when I'm at shows, like I pretty much go nonverbal. Like I'm there for the music. I don't really go there to socialize. Um, I just love EDM so much. I love dancing to it. I love getting blasted by the low end bass frequencies. And just everything in my body's vibrating. Um, and the Av will always have a special place in my heart. The first show I ever saw there was Chi and Saruda um, in November of 2021. And the last show I've seen there before I start doing other things in life is Peekaboo. Um, so super fire shows to end and to start and end on at the Av. And I've been to at least 200 shows there. And it's a core memory for sure, that place. Some other venues that I've been to are I've been in the basement of the Divine Lorraine Hotel on Broad Street. That was some pretty cool vibes. Underground, like house vibes. Warehouse on Watts, very cool venue. Didn't have a great sound system when I first started going there, but then they must have like I think they upgraded their subwoofers and then like it just sounded so good there as well. So would recommend Warehouse on Watts. I think they do a little bit lesser known DJs there mostly. Um the production isn't as big as the Av, but the vibes are still pretty awesome. Um I've been to it's called Dresden, which is like a rooftop venue on uh, Chestnut and Fifth, so like right across pretty much from Independence Hall. I've been to an underground tunnel rave in Fairmount Park. I've been to a rave behind a skate park at FDR Park. Yeah, I've been around the scene for Philly. I'm pretty happy with how immersed I've gotten into it. I've been to Winston on the Water, which is like right on the Delaware River, pretty much. At like Penn's Landing area. I've been to the Armory, like 23rd Street. So like kind of Rittenhouse area. To see like a almost like a Burning Man type thing event, which was like super cool. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head for now. The next thing that came to my mind is disc golf. So I got into disc golf around COVID and fell in love with it because it's very similar to Ultimate Frisbee. It's a socially distant, acceptable thing to do. That's why a lot of people picked it up when COVID happened. Sedgley Woods, great place to start if you're a beginner. Kind of short distances to throw on. Fort Washington is a little bit out of the way in the suburbs, about like 50 minutes north of Center City. Stafford Woods, that might be closing soon, I think, but that's like a 20-minute drive across a bridge in New Jersey. Brandywine Park in Delaware. A lot of these are like kind of drives out, so if you don't have a car, it's going to be a little hard to get to these places. Yeah, main like Fort Washington and Sedgley were my mains. But yeah, if you want to do disc golf, there's some places here that you can go to. What else? Food is really good here. There's the Italian market that I I've been to a good amount of times. I have friends that live down there, and I haven't gone out too much at the Italian market. There's this really good Mexican place called like the Blue Chip or something. I don't know, but they had blue chips with guac there. Fantastic. Um, by me, I live in Old City. There's like a sea of restaurants and bars. If you want Irish food, there's the Plow and the Stars, which I live right across from. Karma, Indian restaurant. Um, Vista Peru, Peruvian restaurant, obviously. Pizza places as well. There's called A Pizza Joint on Market Street, which has like zero seed oils in their pizzas, so that's pretty cool. Oh brother, you can get cheesesteaks, burgers, shakes there. Um, what else? Khyber Pass. I live like right above Khyber Pass. It's like pub food, so like burgers. They're probably the best mac and cheese I've ever had was at Khyber Pass. So if you are into mac and cheese, check out Khyber Pass. Lucha Cartel, fire, very good Mexican restaurant. Um, what else is there? I thought of like a pool. It's called Buffalo Billiards. You can actually order Indian food from Buffalo Billiards, and the Karma, like they're like collabing, which is like crazy. And Karma will make the Indian food and bring it over to you. Obviously, it's called Buffalo Billiards, so you can play pool there. You can also play pool at Brownie's Pub, which is right on the other side of this wall, pretty much. Actually, no, Sassafras is on the other side of this wall, and then Brownies. So yep, there's that. Places that I haven't gone to, but I've Uber eated from was Korea Taqueria. Really good birria tacos there. I haven't talked about cheesesteaks yet as well. So obviously cheesesteaks are a Philly staple. I recommend Delisandro's in Manayunk. Sonny's on Market Street. I've never been to John's Roast Pork. Would love to check that out. Oh Brother has cheesesteaks. Ishkabibbles, which is a cool name for sure. Ishkabibbles is in Society Hill area, Queen Village area. If you're looking for brunch, Reading Terminal Market has a downtown diner or down home diner, I think. They got Bellaire's Donuts in Reading Terminal, like best donuts in the city for sure. And if you're on like Society Hill Queen Village area, there's the 4th Street Deli, which has like insane chocolate babka French toast. Like it's like $25 for it, but it's huge. You probably won't be able to finish it all in one sitting, so you get French toast for another day. What else? There's a Filipino restaurant called Perla. That's a cool experience. At Perla, you don't use utensils. I mean, you could, but you kind of that's not really the vibe is to not use utensils. So they just dump all the food on like a leaf and you eat with your hands off of the leaf, and it's really cool, really dope. Would definitely recommend Perla. If you're more into there's an Argent called if you're more into fancy stuff and you got $1 to spend, Malbec Steakhouse on Head House Square. That's Society Hill type area. Another fancy French restaurant, Royal Boucherie, and that's also in Old City, right? kind of near my apartment. If you're looking for a slice of like just regular or like meatball subs, like a classic pizza place is Margarita Pizza, also on Second Street. Um, if you're into ice cream, there's Franklin Fountain Ice Cream, which is near again Market and between Second and Front Street. Um, yeah, that's kind of my food take. The next thing that came to my mind is dating. What is it like to date in Philly? Um, in my experience, when I was looking to date, like actively, like I was on Hinge and stuff and Tinder, didn't have much luck. Uh, I don't know. Everyone here in Philly seems to be a little reserved to themselves. This could be a story that I'm just telling myself, and it may not be true, but it's. I'd say it's pretty hard to if you're single and you want to date. Maybe consider another city. Um, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Um, weather. What's the weather like in Philly? In the summer, it's beautiful. Obviously, a lot of northern cities are beautiful in the summer, and it's kind of like what you'd expect. In the winter, it's kind of miserable and cold, and you get some snow, but it's basically just really, really cold. Classic northern city vibes, but it's pretty vibey in the fall, and spring is cool too. I think the fall might be I might be biased towards the fall because it's like it's been so hot in the summer that you're finally getting that break in the weather. So I like the fall. Um, my mind is blanking. Uh, history. I can talk maybe a little bit about the history. Obviously, a very rich history, Philly. Like this is where our country was founded. It's where the Declaration of Independence was signed. You'll see a lot, especially in Old City area. You'll see a lot of little signs you can read. That's like Ben Franklin walked through this tunnel on his commute to work here. So that's pretty cool. Um, a lot of brick architecture. I'm looking at a brick building right across the street right now. Um, yoga, I guess. There's a good yoga scene here. You got Three Queens, Monarch Yoga, Hotbox Yoga, Manayunk. Um, I've been to Monarch the most amount of times. Pretty good studio. I would recommend. It's. I think their classes are like always heated. So if you want to do a heated yoga, and probably Hotbox as well, but Monarch for sure. Um, would recommend Monarch Yoga in Kensington. I think they're opening a new studio though in Northern Liberties, so that's cool. Um, sauna. There's a sauna near me. It's called the Wellness Refinery. I've been there a couple times or a few times, and that's really cool. It's an infrared sauna, so there's certain benefits to infrared, being under infrared light. Um, as well, there's um like a little smoothie bar for you after your sauna, so you can like rehydrate and re-electrolyze. Um, what else? I don't know. It's kind of all that's coming to my mind for now. Maybe my thoughts on like Philly in general, and just maybe about just leaving Philly. So I really like this city. I like living here. I've grown to to really enjoy it. I guess one thing that makes me really enjoy this was Mom's Organic Market. That's where I started grocery shopping. It's like all organic, all good stuff. I mean, they do have like seed oils still in their store, but mostly pretty good shopping for groceries there. The martial arts scene as well. The school I went to, Philadelphia Wing Chun School, is closed now, but they had Wing Chun. There's I think there's Aikido, definitely Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. There's one right across the street from me, studio there. So yeah, there's a lot of things that obviously my roots are here in Philly. My family lives in Philly, or like close to. A lot of my friends live within driving distance, like maybe like New York or New Jersey. It's nice being able to drive to New York. I do some New York trips here and there. I've done some DC trips as well. It's nice being along the whole Eastern metropolitan corridor. I've just found a lot of comfort living here. But there's another part of me that's wants to see more of the world. And so I have this remote job now where I can do that. I can travel around the country. And so, yeah, going to California in August 17th, which is like a little over 3 weeks from now. And I'm gonna be living in San Francisco for a month, and then LA for a month, and then San Diego for a month. And then coming back, visiting Tulsa on the way back, and then if I like Tulsa, then live in Tulsa, Oklahoma next year. Yeah, lot of change here happening. It's some of it can be terrifying at times. It can be really exciting at times as well. But a little bit more terrifying if I just stay in Philly my whole life, I would say, because I've seen I mean, I'm not going to say a lot of the world, but I've seen, like, I've been around, I've been to like Europe and Central America, but would love to see more of that. Those places. Would like to see more around the United States as well. Location independence is pretty important to me, so I'm very grateful for this remote job. And a lot of change coming up for sure. I just got back from a work business trip in Michigan, and I'm literally moving out like tomorrow and today. So it's a lot. There's a lot happening, as always, but it's all the dance of life, pretty much. I'm just moving with the dance of life, and I don't know what's going on. I literally don't know what's happening, but it's okay because it's cool. That's pretty much it. You don't know. You don't have to know what's happening. You don't even have to try to know what's happening. Just be what's happening. You're already what's happening. It's fun. So I'll leave it at that. That's my experience in Philly. If you got anything from it, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. Thank you for listening and for getting this far with me. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.